So let's start there with trust. Francis Fukuyama, he's a political economist, and he did a study. In fact, he wrote a book in 1995 called Trust. He did a longitudinal study with a simple question saying, do you trust most people? In 1960, 58% said yes, I trust most people. And then he asked the same question again in 1993. And of course, it went down, 37%. My question for you today, right here, right now, is what is it today? In 2012, where in the financial industry, trust is at its lowest. And your goal as advisors is to engender trust in your relationships with your clients. But to do that, you got to know what they're looking for when it comes to trust. So what is it that they are looking for? What you see here are the 3 V's. Albert Moravian is a professor out of UCLA, and he looked at what people look to when it comes to trust and believability. In these numbers, verbal is the content of what you share. Vocal is the sound of your voice as you hear my voice. And then visual is what they see of you. Not your slides, but of you. I want you to weigh them of what you think counts most in communications. Just weigh them what you think is the most important when it comes to trust and believability. Let's do a quick survey here by a show of hands. If you had verbal, the content, the words you say as most important, raise your hand if you think the words you say are most important. Okay, there's a few hands out there. Now, if you have vocal as most important, raise your hand if you think vocal is most important with trust and believability. Okay, more hands there. Now, to make sure you're all here and awake, visual. If you think visual is most, okay, there's the majority of you. Of course, smart group. This is the MDRT. Before I reveal the answers to you, I want to do a quick survey. A quick exercise. Make a circle with your hand, and then put it out in front of you. Put it out to the side. Put it above your head. And then put it on your chin. Chin. I'm saying chin, yet I see a lot of cheeks out there. I'm saying chin, but I see a lot of cheeks. Take a look at the numbers. Now first, let me tell you what this does not mean. This does not mean that content, the words I'm sharing, count for only 7%. What these numbers mean, what Moravian based his research on, is in an inconsistent message, you will mostly believe what you see and what you hear. But the problem is, I'm showing you cheek, but I'm saying chin. That is an inconsistent message. And this is an example of what we do all the time in business. We say one thing, yet we sound or we look a different way. So we need to be aware of what we're doing with our communications. We need to own our experience and how we come across. I'm going to show you an example of someone that is a master communicator. This is Steve Jobs introducing a product. Before I show you Steve Jobs, let me show you first how and why he does that. Because people, it can't just be the words you share. It's got to be, there's an emotion piece. What you sell, what you service is an emotional buy. And I'm sure you've heard this. People buy on emotion and justify with fact. You need to connect emotionally with your audience. And this is, now I want to show you that clip of Steve Jobs, because notice what he does. He emotes. He gets people to feel something when he rolls out a product. Take a look at this.